What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about template engines where we could dynamically change our static page. It's not going to be static anymore. It's going to be dynamic. And we're also going to be talking about middleware, where we're going to have some kind of function that actually checks for something. So we could actually put authentication that checks for authentication and then lets us log into our app. So let's talk about those two things coming right up. What's up, guys? So today we're going to be doing the template engine, dynamically changing our static page. And also we're going to talk about middleware. And we're going to kick things off by actually installing a third-party module called Handlebars. Handlebars is a template engine. So you're used to this HTML, right? Well, Handlebars is going to help us add dynamic variables, or is going to help us add variables that we pass through here into our HTML templates, right? So if we actually opening up a new browser, no, not now. Handlebars. barsjs.com. So this is the one we're going to be installing, guys. As you can see, it's exactly like HTML, but the difference is we could pass in data to it, as you can see right here. And we're going to install it using npm HBS, which is a short abbreviation for handlebars. And right here, it tells you all the things you need to do, right? Like for convenience. Okay. So let's do it. So you should be able to install it. npm install HBS -- save. While we're doing that over here, while we're waiting for that, over here, const, we're going to call it out. HBS, come on, equals require HBS. All right. Now that we have that here, we actually got to tell Express that we want to use HBS instead of our default HTML. This is going to be our extension. So you're used to saying help.html. Now we're going to have help.hbs. So we got to tell Express that though. How do we do that? We're going to do under app, because app.set, because we're setting it. We're going to set the view engine of Express engine. We're going to set it to HBS. HBS. Sorry, guys, I got something in my throat. All right, now that we did that, we're going to actually go into our folder and create another folder. It's going to be called views. Okay? I already have it. It's right here. Get rid of that. Views. And let me actually delete everything in there. I don't know. I was messing around with it, but I'm gonna just delete everything in here. So that way we have a clean folder. See, we don't have anything in there no more. So why did we create the directory? Well, by default, Express actually looks into the views folder and looks for our templates inside of there. Without that, we would actually have to tell Express where our templates are at. This just gives us a 1-up, so that way we don't have to keep on telling Express where it lives. All we have to tell it is our template name, as we'll see right now. Actually, in views, we're going to create another file, and we're going to, create an about page. About, instead of HTML, it's going to be HBS. And I'm actually going to grab HTML from here, from the help, paste it into the about, and actually just change a couple of things. About, control save. And in here, we need to tell the about to render this template, right? Now we have this template right here, the about template. Now we have it here. Now we need to tell Express we want to render it every time someone hits the about page. So instead of sending anything because we're not going to be sending stuff. We're actually going to be rendering a template. So it's actually res.render. And, oh, no. And it's just going to be the name of the template you want to render, which is the about. You do not have to define the extension. We don't have to do .hbs. You can just leave that out. The reason why is because we're already telling Node that it's going to be our default extension for mostly everything. Control save that. Now, if you actually go in here and start it with nodemon server.js, and we're actually going to do something a little bit different here, guys. We're going to add a E flag, -E. This stands for extension. We're basically telling nodemon, every time something changes in here, it already knows every time something changes, but it knows about the defaults, which is HTML, JS, CSS, all those defaults. It knows about those. But since we added a new thing to Express, we need to tell nodemon to actually watch files with the .hbs if there's any changes in those as well. So in here, we're gonna tell it, we want you to watch the extensions that are JS and HBS. And with that in place, we hit enter. It's gonna start up. Don't worry about that. You should not get that error. Control save. I gotta restart this though. And now it's saying server is starting on port 3000. So let's go check it out. Localhost 3000, and we're gonna go to the about page because that's where we made our changes, and we do get our about page. So let's go back in here, guys. I don't know why I'm talking like that. Like I'm going slower. I don't know why. I'm gonna just stop or try to, anyways. So now that we have the about page, it's not really different from the help.html. Well, it really isn't. But in the if we have this HTML, we cannot add variables into this. We can, however, add variables to our template here. How do we add variables or dynamic data to this template? Well, this render actually takes in a second parameter, and that's going to be our data. It's going to be an object, and this is where we're going to tell what we want to pass in. So we want to pass in a title, I don't know, about page. Yes, about, since it is the about page. Duh. Right? We also want to, you know what, in here? Yeah, in here. I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to actually add a footer. And we're going to, because we don't want people to steal our stuff, copyright 2017. Control save that. And if we look at it right now, it should say copyright 2017. Okay, we're going to change that. Obviously, it's not 2017, it's 2018. I did that for a purpose because we're going to change it dynamically. So in here, instead of doing, we're going to pass in a date dynamically, right? So we're going to say current year, new date. And date is already a JavaScript function, right? That will give us a timestamp of what it is right now. So it's 3/29/12/11/18. It's gonna give us that. All we want is a year though, so we have to add .get full year. No semicolon. Do not do a semicolon. You will get an error. All right. Get full year. Control save. Now we need to pass this title and current year into our about.hbs. How do we do that? It's very, very simple, guys. It's 2 curly braces, just like that, and then the name that you have. So we have title for one, and then this 2017 is actually something different. It's current year. Control save. Now if we refresh this, we get 2018, yes, and we still get the about page because that didn't really change. But we're gonna do the same thing for our home page. Okay, so in our views folder, a new file called home.hbs. I'm gonna just copy everything in here, and we are gonna be passing in a title. We are gonna be passing in a title and the current year, but we're also gonna be passing in a something else, right? In the p element, we're gonna pass it in. yeah, I'm creating the variable ahead of time, but we are gonna have to define it in our server.js. I'm gonna call it welcome message. Control save that. And in here, instead of send, it's gonna be render. We're gonna render our home, and we're gonna pass in the data. We have title, which is homepage, right? We have the current year, which is this again. Let me just grab this and copy it. And we actually added a new variable inside of there. It was called, what was it called? A welcome message, right? Welcome message. And welcome to my website. Website. Period. Because we want to be grammatically correct. Okay. So now we actually save it, which we did. I think we saved it. Save this. We did. We go back in here, refresh, nothing should change. But if you go to the home page, we get welcome to my homepage, the homepage to my website, and then copyright 2018. So guys, you already know how to pass in variables into our templates, data into our templates. And we're gonna go a little bit more to handlebars, a little bit deeper with handlebars, just a little bit more. You see this current year, we're using it. We're gonna be using it quite often. I would say so, because we have it on this. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have it on more pages. Handlebars actually has a function for us that actually helps us make this current year global and use it for our templates, in our templates. And they're called helpers. Okay, so we actually we're gonna create a helper right now. So the way you do that is HBS register. We're gonna register a helper. Register helper. Right, and it's a function. And the first parameter is what you want to name it. I just want to name it get current year. That's what we're gonna name it. And the next one is the function. What is it going to do? Well, it's going to return the new date. This is going to return this. Return, paste that. Now we can get rid of it here and get rid of it here. Control save that. Now since we named it something else, right? We don't have to pass it in no more. We don't, because this is global now. And here we just need to call it out, current year. And you'll see I'm not passing it into the about page because I want you to see what happens if we don't have anything. So we're in the home page. Yes, it does do it for the home page because we changed it in the home page. But if we go to the about, we get copyright blank. That's because it doesn't have a variable for that. So it's going to just leave this out. But we're going to just paste it in there. Control save, refresh, 2018. We're going to add just one more helper so you can get the hang of things. That's why I always do things twice, so you can get a hang of it. One more helper, so HBS dot register helper, and we're gonna call it shout it. And you could probably guess what this function is going to do. Equals. And this one's actually going to take a variable. Yes, we can add parameters inside of our functions still. And we're going to just return text dot to uppercase. Control save that, and we got to actually do something over here. So in the welcome, you know how in the welcome we have it lowercase? Well, we want to shout that. We want to actually express how we feel when they come to our website. So how do we do that? Well, inside these curly braces, shout it, and you're used to actually putting in parentheses. Well, we're not going to put it in parentheses. We're just literally going to put a space. And we're going to get the welcome message. And if you add it, if you want to add two parameters, it will be welcome, your first parameter with a space, and then the second one is a space as well. And it keeps on going out. Space for a third one, space. It's just spaces, no parentheses. So now we save this, control save, refresh, it actually shouts it. So those are our helpers, and that's a little bit more about handlebars, guys. And now you know how to add data to our templates. Now we're going to talk about middleware. What is middleware exactly? Well, I'm going to use authentication as an example. We're not going to be doing authentication in this video. We are going to be doing it in the future, but not in this one. But for authentication, when someone comes in, you know, you usually get a login, right? That's your home. That's the screen that you have, a login. And you start typing in your information. Well, once you hit submit, it actually hits a middleware, which is going to authenticate if you're an actual user or not. And depending on the response on the authentication, if it's true or false, it's going to send you to the home screen or to a sign up screen, depending on the results you get, right? That middleware, the authentication, is the middleware. The request, and then the middleware, which is the authentication, and then the response. I'll show it to you right here in our server. So the request to go to the about page, we need to sign up first or sign in. That's our middleware, and then we'll respond with the about page if it's true or false. That's just pretty much as simple as I could actually explain it. I mean, it's pretty simple, the middleware. It goes between these two, whatever they want to get. And then we got to check for something. And then depending on whatever this variable, the middleware comes back with, we'll respond in an appropriate manner, right? So how do you create a middleware? Well, down below this, we're going to actually do app.use. That's how you create a middleware. App.use, because we're going to be using a middleware. And it's going to be a function. It's going to take in 3 parameters this time. It's going to take in the rec, the res, the request, the response, and then next. And it is a function. So you should know what this is, rec, res. The request they're trying to get, the response we're gonna send, and then next. This next is different, but it's simple, guys. It's simple. So right now inside of this, I'm gonna just log it out. I'm gonna just log out middleware. Control save. And I'm gonna just do it like that. Now if we try to visit a page, I'm gonna go to the about page /about. Oh no, not there. /about. All right, you see it does not go to the about page, but you do see in the console that it does print out middleware. But you see it's not going to the about page. It's actually hanging. The reason why it's hanging is because we did not tell it, once you're done with this function, we want you to go to the next step, which would have been going to the about page. We didn't specify next. We have to specify and next, like this. So now it knows, okay, now once we're done with this, whatever we want to do, we want to go to the next step, which is responding the appropriate manner, which is our about page, right? So if I exit out right here, if I try to do about, let me see if I actually, sorry about that, guys. See that? Now we go to the about page. So that's our middleware, guys. And taking consideration that it does it for every route. So if I go, let me go back here. I'm actually clear this. I don't know how to. I'm gonna just space it all out. I'm gonna clear this right here, and then we're gonna just try to do it again. I'm gonna go to the home page though. The home page, and if you go back to the terminal, you see middleware. And if you go, I'm gonna get this smaller, go right here. Okay, now if you go to the about page, it's gonna hang for a while, and you see middleware right there twice, because it's actually doing it. So every time we hit a page or a route, it's going to keep on doing this because we actually specified app.use. We're saying the whole application is going to use this whole middleware. So every time we hit a route, it's going to be doing this. It's not really ideal for every route to have this, you know. I mean, in some cases it is, like authentication. You want to keep on checking if the user is actually logged in or not. That's a proper use of app.use, because you want the whole application to do it. But what if we're like in maintenance mode and the about page is in maintenance mode, right? We need a middleware for that, for maintenance. Well, we could do that simply by actually creating a function. So I'm gonna call var maintenance equals, is gonna equal a function. And this function is actually it's gonna take in the same three parameters: rec, res, and next. Control save, and in here we're actually going to create another view, guys. We're going to create another view. New file. We're going to call it maintenance.hps. Control save. I didn't create it. Let me try it again. New file, maintenance.hps. Okay, I'm gonna get the home, copy all this, paste it in here, and I'm not even gonna worry about this. I'm not gonna worry about the footer or anything like that. I ain't gonna worry about the H1 and the title. I'm just grab those two. We're not passing in data, guys. And we're gonna say maintenance mode. Control save. In our server, we gotta call it over here. So rec or res, sorry, not rec, res.render maintenance.